Come on, you little rat bat.
Jock says, yay, I ride a BMW dual sport, so the pipes are tucked in away from your legs.
Let me get my, We had many jokes at one of our brothers' expense over the frog togs. That's the reason why.
Oh, bless it.
All right, it's working. Hey, just saying, phone's not liking. Again, guys, don't forget. Grandpa, I expect when you get up in the morning, grab you some coffee, come hang out with me. We're going to be bright and early Saturday morning, about 7 o'clock. And I will be done.
Says, and I'm back.
Welcome back, Psycho. And we'll be back. I'll probably stream about 12:30.
Geek Boy asks, are anyone else getting a lot of choppy?
Yes, Geek Boy, look at the title, bud. We're having internet issues. We're having internet issues. It's literally hot as fuck in the shop right now. Humid as fuck in the shop right now. And we're trying to survive.
Says yes.
Yeah, I apologize. There's absolutely nothing I can do. I'm just proud to be able to stream. But I do appreciate the heads up on it, but there's nothing I can do about it. Walking the strobe a little bit. I mean, if it's bad,
Geek Boy says, oh my bad, missed the title. Thanks, Purple.
Oh, good. I mean, if it's that bad, I can just shut it down and go have a beer. It's like, I would not break my heart to turn this thing off and sit in the air conditioner.
7 a.m. stream. Your time or mine?
My time, Grump. I'm going to be live. I'm going to stream at 7. It's supposed to be like 103, 104 with the heat index up there like 115, 116. I'm not going to be out in that shit.
Geek Boy says, no worries. I'm always paranoid my internet is crapping.
I got you. I wish I ought to put a little thing up here that blinks like, yeah, we're having internet issues. Because man, if I had a nickel for every time somebody, it's just like, it's nothing you can do about it, but you keep saying, sorry, internet's not acting right. Sorry, internet's. It's just one of those. I ought to get some kind of sign.
Jock says, make sure to take care of yourself first, man.
Yeah, 100% Jacques. Well, that's why I'm streaming at 7. It kind of sucks. It kind of ruins.
Says, no apologies. I'd rather you live and stay upon the earth rather than lose the battle to heat stroke.
Right. What was I thinking? Shit. I was thinking something. Put something up, sign up here. I really ought to just put something up like, yeah, we're having internet issues. Please be patient. I'm sorry. Just something up here so we can, because I know folks can be like, oh my God, is anybody off buffering? But when you hear it like 20 times in the stream, you're like, oh God. And there's nothing I can do about
Grandpa says, yeah, hard to keep the computer cool in that heat.
Yeah, I'm going to shut it down around 12:30. And then go in the house. I know this weekend me and Miss Super are going to tear apart the office. And so we're going to maybe do some biography
inside. That is a great idea.
I think I'm going to do it, Shot, because it does. I know people don't mean it, but it just like when you're live for like 3 hours and you say, yes, I'm having internet issues, I'm sorry, and you say it like 30 times, you're like, oh God.
Spectre says Grump's got a point. You can damage the computer in that much heat.
Oh, 100%. 100%. It's really not. I'm sure it doesn't like I think it's 97 degrees right now in here. I think the heat index is supposed to be up like 108, 109 right now. It probably doesn't like that either. But I want to stream. I just need to stream. So.
Graham says, no, don't worry about it. We are here till you are done.
Let's see here. Let's get another
Jock
one.
Says it's like when you get a stain on your shirt at work and everyone points it out all day.
I know. Jock, that's a perfect analogy of it, dude. That is like the perfect analogy. You're like, yes, I know. Hey, do you know you got a stain on your... Yes, I know. I have a stain on my shirt. I was holding that one piece of Jabota wood, but I don't really want to use this in here. I'm not really feeling that dude. Because that dude's got this gnarly little check. You see that dude right there? And the last time I dug into wood with stuff like this here, I mean, it's probably good to about right here, but I need at least 6 inches. I'm not trying to be like technical with sizes and all, but
Need to Scribble says most computers don't like more than 80 degrees.
Rip. Need to Scribble. I had a long conversation.
Geek Boy says that's the weather we had around 2 p.m. yesterday.
Yeah, I see. I had a conversation with my PC. I said, look, man.
Bloomy89 asks Christmas in June.
Yes, Bloomy. How are you doing?
Jock says just save it for short pieces.
I probably will. I did have a conversation with PC. Look, man. Look, you're in my shop, dude. We work hard. No whining, no pissing.
Says I am done melting.
You're done melting?
Grandpa says I get that when I go to the store and forget my pants. Everyone has to point it out. Sigh. Purple Daisy says 6 inches is a good start.
It is. 6 inches is a good start. Wait, hold on. Hold on. Ooh, wait a minute. Oh, I got an idea. If this works out, I need to...
Bloomy89 says yesterday and the day before we reached temps above 40 C. Pecan Bread says I'm back but dinner lurking.
Welcome back, girl. Get your dinner on. Let's get another shout out for Chaotic Gabs.
Bloomy89 says 100 to 115 F.
It's definitely warm. All right. I'm actually thinking about making this.
I am in Manitoba. Graham says it's 91 here but feels like 97.
Can I get away with this? I don't know if I can get away with this. I'm want to make. Y'all don't tell them, but I'd like to make one for CC Project Factory.
Bloomy89 says thank you, Lengor.
CC sent me some tiger wood, and I thought it'd be pretty cool to make him an ornament, and just kind of surprise him, and send it to him.
That Texas Cryptid asks 6, doesn't Hula need to make sure the ornament package is too big for Germany?
Those are for my magic wands.
Grump Grandpa yells speaking of heat. I'm heading back to the basement.
All right, Grump.
Love your faces, gang.
Take care, bud. Take care, sir.
Graham says thank you, White Wolf 1972.
I don't think I can get away with this. This is a smaller
Psycho
urchin.
says hell, even with the chiller unit going behind me, it's still 81 in the factory.
I find it's better if I don't talk about it. I'm one of those weird folks that, so long as I'm not really talking about it too much. Ooh, I got this sticker right here. Oh, I can make him a cool one with this here. I wonder what the
Graham
tiger
says
wood.
stay cool, Grump Grandpa.
Tiger wood. Look at this itty bitty little Sputnik I got. Is that not a cool little Sputnik? So these are considered Sputniks. You see the bigger dots on them and whatnot? That's a Sputnik. And this right here is what they call like a purple.
Raven says go
urchin.
in when you get to hot. I am going to head to bed. My back is aching today.
Oh, Raven. Did you take anything for it? Get the feeling better,
Have
Raven.
a great
Much
rest
love.
of stream.
Let's get a giant shout out
That
to my girl
Texas
Raven.
Cryptid says
Giant shout out for my girl Raven. Literally love her streams to death. She's a super dude, super sweetheart. And just a flat out rock star. Super sweetheart.
Purple Daisy says remember the baby short walnut you did a couple years ago.
Yeah,
You should have enough tiger for that.
I
Raven
should.
says yeah, some Tylenol. Cookister 942 asks where do you get the sea urchins?
Cookie, I get them from
Spectre says Sputnik. Those went up out of the sky, not down beneath the waves.
Amazon. I usually get mine on Amazon. In fact, I need to order some now because last year they ran out. I couldn't get
Raven
it
says thank you, that means a lot coming from you.
Raven, seriously, hey, I leave. I know some folks.
Spectre
I'm
yells
telling
Raven
you,
is awesome.
get you some leave, girl. Once I started taking a leave, it was like nothing else touched the shit I had going on with the knee issues and my neck issues. A leave is my jam, yo. I mean, literally, this stream is brought to you part by leave. Not this time, but it has in the past. It's a true story. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say
Raven
this.
says thanks, Spectre. I will try.
We didn't feel this though. That's the only problem is I always feel my urchins, and this is
Cassia
not
Mitra
filled.
says feel better, Raven. That Texas Cryptid says a leave is a game changer.
It is,
Graham
dude.
says rest well, Raven.
I tell you what, we're not going to do that. We're just going to do a green. But it's a little.
Cassia Mitra says a leave does nothing for me.
Oh.
Pecan Bread says disclaimer. Streamer is not a medical professional.
No, I'm not a
Use leave at your own risk. Raven says thanks, Cassie and Grams. SOXX72 says a leave back and muscle for me.
It works. Pecan bread.
Jock
It
asks, are
works,
those
girl.
actually urchins or are they synthetic?
They're actually
Spectre
urchins.
says all that's left is to steal Raven's affections from Grump Grandpa.
They are
Purple
actual
Daisy
urchins.
says this mod runs on 2 Aleve and 2 Tylenol every morning.
I just know it works for me. When I had to get on that bike and I had 3 meniscus tears, that's the only thing that kept me on that bike was a leave. I do. I'm not a child doctor, and I'm not even playing one on TV, but I do know 3 meniscus tears in the same knee, and a leave would allow me to get on that bike and push the bike up. Just saying. I'm not saying I didn't make an ugly face or something. I was looking back, no, that biker looks mean. Like, no, and he hurts.
Spectre yells big to the guy to the sea.
It's Big IC. What's up, Big IC? Hey, how's the lettuce coming along?
Psycho says disclaimer, no urchins were harmed in the making of these ornaments.
I didn't hurt them, Psycho. If they were harmed, I had absolutely nothing to do with it. I just bought the carcass. I literally just bought the carcass. But no, these are actual sea urchins. And I fill them with foam. By filling them with foam, it actually makes them a lot stronger, and they can withstand a lot more. So, like you drop it or something like that, it won't explode like the one that I made like 2 years ago that I held on to for 2 years. And I literally was trying to make a TikTok video, and it was like slow motion. I went,
Spectre asks, growing the devil's lettuce. Big Guy C says, not much, man, hot day, just helping out my mom at the moment.
I got you, bud. I got you. Guys, if you're not following my boy Big Guy C, good dude right there. I mean, he all right.
SOXX72 says, I am looking at stuff on Amazon ATM. What do you usually pay for them?
I'm trying to remember. I started buying the premium albinos socks is what I started looking for. I like the premium albinos. They're much more, but they actually come out
Big Guy
better.
C says at Spectre 326, just normal lettuce.
All right, so to give you guys an example, this is what they call a purple sea urchin. These are purples, and these are the albinos. And what I like about the albinos, they're more of a pearl look, and they can match a lot more different kind of woods. And I love these here with African blackwood. That's got to be my personal favorite ones that ornaments that I make. Is that with the African blackwood? Just
Spectre
a classy,
says, Dan, I mean, that's great.
just a classy look. Which I'm almost out of. I got a little bit of African blackwood, but I think that's going towards
That
a
Texas
particular.
Cryptid says, when you make something out of a sea urchin skeleton, people can't enough. But if you make one out of a human skeleton, you get a visit from the folks in blue.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Why am I wanting a beer right now? Why am I seriously debating a beer right now? It is. Well, we haven't been live very long at all. Only an hour and a half. All right, let's get started on another. We got to figure out what we're going to do. Let's figure out. I say we're going to make another practice one. Let's do a green. We'll do green. Green with Jabota look pretty good. Jabota. I'm going to save this to go with that one, smaller urchins. The Sputnik. Sputnik from Mother Russia.
Pecan Bread says, disclaimer, streamer has no idea what he's doing next.
I have no damn.
SOXX72 says, might want to check later on Hula. I seen 5 of them for $17.
That's about right price. That's about right price. Dude.
That Texas Cryptid says, Mistress Mink says those purples would be pretty with purple heart, I bet.
Oh, they are.
Purple Daisy says at Chaotic Gabs, that's standard around here.
It is standard. They actually are with Purple Heart, and I actually make a lot. My two mains that I do has always been. I was doing a bunch of crazy woods like Yellow Heart, Zebra Wood.
SOXX72 says, but there are only 20 orders left, it say.
Oh shit!
Gordon
so
Hammer says, hey Ahula, how's it going from
What's
Fort
up?
Worth?
How you doing, Gordon? How you doing? I'll be saying cool, bud. Socks, thanks for the heads up. I may go ahead and order some. I probably need to go ahead and order some because I'm going to need at least. I'll probably order some purples, but for my more fancy, higher end ones, I always use the albinos. And on top of that, if you get 5, there's a good possibility you're only going to be able to use 3 of them out of it. That's the other part of it. So I'm basically getting 3 for $20. It kind of is what it is. So, but Purple Heart, African Blackwood and Purple Heart were my 2 main ornaments I made last year. They're my hot sellers.
SOXX72 says they're green, purple, and pink as well, I seen.
Yes. I don't like the pinks. The pinks are more like a bean. They're shaped. Imagine they're shaped literally like a bean, like a kidney bean. You just can't. There's no way in my mind to make that look right because you just can't make it look right. I go with normally the purples, purple sea urchins, the albino sea urchins, and the greens are the ones that I usually go for. And I do. Purples are going to be for my lower expense ornaments. My albinos are higher because everything's higher, and then the greens are about the same price as the purples. But they look greens look really good with Purple Heart. The greens look really good with Purple Heart. But I think this Jabota wood, kind of give you guys a general heads up. I think that green and this Jabota wood is going to look really good together, though. I think it'd be a nice, classy look as well. To check Bucky's Beach Stores, see what the prices are on urchins and sand dollars. Mistress, I tell you what, I don't know if you're gonna be able to find a better price at Bucky's than Amazon, but you may. You may. And God bless Bucky's. I love Bucky's, but I don't shop there.
Jack says hula odd work question.
Yeah.
What style of tool does your shop use to bleed brakes on your ambulances? We are looking at upgrading what our shop has and did not know if you have any suggestions.
We got one that we snagged off the Matco truck, but we do a lot of gravity bleeding. We do. I know it's kind of tricky when you start. You really can't do that when you start tying into ABS and stuff like that. But if you're just dropping calipers, dropping calipers, something like that, or even master cylinder, we just gravity bleed. We just do it the OG way, and it held up really well. It does pretty good. So far for us. All right, let's whack this dude down real quick. All right, I'm making that side square. Turn this dude off. Let's measure over 6 inches because I'm trying to keep it within that 6-inch mark. That's my goal. To try to keep them so that I can kind of keep them kind of uniform. Oh, my camera quit. I can kind of keep them uniform. Makes it easier for shipping, sizes, and the whole 9 yards. Camera. I can stick my hand up here and just like, hey, what's going on? And then see it works that time. Gabby, how are you feeling, girl? I don't know if you're still there or not. I know you're doing the dinner thing.
We rarely do any brake work, but we have had a few frame swap jobs and bleeding the brakes with our old hand vacuum pump just wears us out.
Yeah. Hey, if you think about it, shoot me a message over on Discord or something like that, like tomorrow, so it pops up and I see it. I can take a picture of the one in the shop. I know my lead guy, he snagged it. I'm pretty sure he snagged it off the Matco truck. But I know we don't use it very often. I know I don't ever use it.
That would be great.
Yeah, most everything we use, mostly everything I do, because I haven't really done too much brake.
I'll try to remember.
Yeah. Just whenever, dude. Just whenever. No rush. Like you just happen to think about it. Like, hey, dude, I can run over and take a picture of it. Discord to me is kind of one of the best ways to get hold of Discord or Instagram are my two. I spend most of my time on those dudes there. All right, I'm finding my center of this Jabota wood. Jabota. Use this dude right here. I feel like we ain't got a whole lot of turning done today, guys.
Geek Boy says I saw a guy on YouTube using a brake piston tool I want to get. It has 2 large pads and a ratchet handle, which I wish I had when I did dual piston calipers a while back.
Oh, yeah. That compresses them. Definitely a lot easier than using the C-clamp and an old brake pad, huh? That's the way I've always done it, man.
SOXX72 says Hula, you should check out Alfonso sea urchins.
Alfonso? I never heard of Alfonso sea urchins.
Geek Boy says exactly.
Alfonso.
Josh says those work great unless you have the calipers that you have to screw back in.
Yeah. I broke a rib. I clearly remember breaking a rib on a rear brake that had the emergency brake that was built into the caliper like that. Yeah, I went and got me one of those fancy
Geek Boy
tools.
says mine isn't a C-clamp, but it only pushes in the middle and I had to move back and forth to get both pistons all the way in.
Yes, that's how I had to do mine. I just put an old brake pad up against and put that C-clamp on the back, and you try to grab in the center you best can, off to one side, but kind of close to the middle you can get. Squeeze that dude in, and once you pop that one side, the other one kind of closes in like that. I've always had luck doing it like that. All right. Let's put this back in here. If I keep this close, less likelihood that I will not forget to drill the hole. Because valve, heaven forbid, I want to say out loud, I've gone all day and I've actually made a hole and I did not forget to drill a single hole. But with that being said, I was home at lunch and I didn't have anybody here, so there is that. All right, this goes in here. Let's get you guys.
Purple Daisy says yet. Geek Boy says at Jack 54 I did back brakes on a 2009 Chevy Mailbur with those screw-in pistons. Managed to do them with large channel lock type pliers. That Texas Cryptid says don't jinx yourself.
Right? Right? I may have just did Cryptid. Hey, Purple, we're going to go to about 8 o'clock. Does that sound all right for you? I'm going to take my medicine, have a beer. It is kind of hot. Guys, we may be like not streaming as long when the heat's like it is. Except for Saturdays, and we're going to start early on Saturdays. We are going to incorporate maybe some IRL streams. I know
Purple Daisy says okay.
I know right now we are like that trip to San Antonio really kind of wiped me and Miss Hoop, so we're kind of broke as a joke right now. But we're going to be doing some IRL streams. Trying to figure out places we can go do IRL streams at where we're in air conditioning, where we're not out in the heat.
That Texas Cryptid says more fire pit streams.
Oh, you know what? I don't know. Fire pit does not sound interesting at all. Hey, no, what's going on, bud? Thank you for that follow me, amigo. I know a guy with the last name Null. All right, let's get this dude around. But yeah, we're trying to think of places we can go where we're like maybe do a little bit of walking outside in the heat. That's not so bad.
Jock asks, do you all have any rivers near you that you could go kayaking or tubing down?
Do you know what? We talked about... You know what's funny, Jacques?
That Texas Cryptid says was thinking something after dark so it could cool down a little and you'd be outside.
But it's still, man, like this morning when I got up, it was 76 degrees.
Jordan Hammer says find those best Texas barbecue places around.
Just hang out at Best Texas all day? We actually got one right there by my work. We're just hanging out. You know, I can see the stream title now. Hanging out at the Texas Best. That would be funny, man. I mean, like, legit. What'd you do in your stream? Oh, we just hung out at the Texas Best.
Purple Daisy says go have breakfast at the Cleavage Cafe.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Bad part about that, remember, Purple, you cannot get any good signal.
Kenara says Texas Manny Texas HM Manny Texas.
What is up, Miss Kenara? Big shout out to my girl Kenara. How are you doing, girl? We just no service in
that
there.
Texas Cryptid says Hula Snow Coney streams lol.
You know, I wouldn't be against it, but
Cookister 942 says we did about 4 hours of clay shooting the other day and it was pretty brutal out of the shade.
yeah.
SOXX72 says Hula when you stop I post link to that other sea urchin on here.
Okay.
Kenara says I am so glad you got the stream going.
We did, Kenara. We did. You know what? I had a
Purple Daisy 977 thank you so much for that.
I had to give it a
Gordon Hammer
stern
says
talking.
I went to place rated number 10 best barbecue place in Texas called Panther City Barbecue. It was very good.
Panther? I never heard of that one. I've never heard of that
Kenara
one.
says at Jack54 at that Texas Cryptid hello hello.
Kenara, are you recovered from your big awesome event last Friday night? And I'm gonna admit, I'm first off, I think you did a badass job. Miss Hoop felt like the other judges were intimidated by you, because you were like flat out. You were like you knew your shit, and everybody knew you knew your shit. And I just thought it was so damn cool. I literally thought it was cool as hell. Miss Hoop was like, I don't think they appreciate it. I think they're intimidated by her. I was like, you know what? They probably are. They ought to be.
It was so much darn fun.
I bet it was. And Kenara, I tell you what, I felt so bad for the second girl.
Jock says one of my favourite barbecue joints in Georgia is a place called Oinkers up in Clayton Gar.
Winkers.
Shizenwood yells, "What's up, hula dude?"
Hey, what up, my boy Chris Shishin? What are you doing,
Anna
dude?
says I did too.
Yeah, I really felt bad for her. Guys, if you don't know about, if you're, is it?
Texas Cryptid says Kenara was ready to get someone with that water gun.
She was.
Shizenwood says just chillin'.
Chilling. Oh man. Hey, have you started on any kind of Christmas stuff yet? Guys, if y'all don't know my boy Chris Shishin, check that link out right there. That boy right there has more daggum talent in his specialty work boots than I have in my entire body. Literally in one of his work boots. That boy has more talent in just one of his work boots than I have. But he lets me hang out and call him a friend. And so, you know what? That works for me.
I don't really do seasonal stuff.
You don't? Chris, we started, and I didn't start the fire, Chris. It was definitely burning since the world's been turning. I didn't start the fire, but by God, I do make a lot of ornaments. A lot of ornaments. All right. Hey, where's Val at? Let him know.
I've seen him. They're beautiful.
I appreciate that, dude.
Purple Daisy says that SH is on wood hula didn't mean to either. But here we are.
She's not wrong, Chris. She's not wrong. I didn't really intend. I was going to make a couple of ornaments.
Gordon Hammer says, better yet, how about a grilling stream barbecue teacher hula teaching Texas way cooking on the grill?
Well, I don't know if I can teach Texas way. I can just tell you how I screw up and do it. I know. I tell you what, that pulled pork we made Sunday was so damn good. I mean, like, seriously freaking good. And then last night, we had leftovers, and I put an onion and a jalapeno and some seasoning in the skillet, and I fried that without a lot of butter. I put a very, very little oil, because I wanted the vegetables to kind of brown, like the edges of the onions, and I sliced them real thin. So the jalapenos and the onions had that little. It wasn't like super soft. Kenara probably knows a big fancy word for that. I don't know it. Translucent. They weren't translucent. And then I got some of that pulled pork, put it in another skillet, and I put a little chili powder on it, a little bit of tahini on it, and a little, what else did I put on there? A little chili powder, tahini, and there was something else I put on there.
Purple Daisy says started to caramelize the veggies.
Yeah, I didn't want to caramelize them. I wanted them to have that good little crunchies. There's a little extra flavor in there. I did that number there.
Lengor says have good night all.
Lengor, you take care, bud. Hey, Lengor, you take care of yourself, dude. Seriously, man. It's getting hot out there, bud. Y'all got those mod love emotes. Definitely chunk those up there for my boy Lengor,
Jock
man.
says a little bit of the Miard reaction.
Miard reaction. Miard reaction. What is Miard reaction? Okay, now I gotta find my size.
Shizenwood says my yard.
My yard. Whew. Chris, you handling the heat all right where you're at, dude? Chris is up there in Canada, but I know that you guys are getting the heat up there as well, man. I know there's nobody escaping it. And I told myself I wasn't going to talk about the heat anymore, and here I just asked Chris about the heat.
Dude, I'm Japanese. Jock says I believe it has food grounds and has the tasty bits.
Oh, I got you. Okay, man. Dude, I'm Japanese, man. That's funny, man. Well, about the time it gets around August, I'll be like, man, I really don't care too much. It don't bother me no more. Right now, I'm not there. I am not there yet.
Spectre yells your long-lost half-brother twice removed. Shizen is here.
Exactly. We're just like twins, except we don't look alike, and he's Japanese and I'm Texan. I don't know if that's the right term. What are you? I'm Texan. I did. Man, what's...
Jock says adopted twins.
Yes! We're like Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger, but not like them at all. We're just like them, but not like them at all. Okay, now we take this out. We flip this here over. This is drilled. This is gonna be our finial. This is gonna be our top. Try my best to get this centered up.
Spectre says, heck, Schwarzenegger and DeVito could pull it off, so you guys are good.
You think so? We may very well. I don't...
Purple Daisy says Danny DeVito and Arnie would be Hula and Wolf.
Yes. But I'd be the good-looking one. I didn't say anything about the taller or short one. I'll be the good-looking one. Whichever one everybody thinks is the good-looking one, that's what I'll be. Just kidding. Ignorance is bliss, right? It's blissful in my world. Chris, you working anything cool, dude?
Spectre yells, "Ah, snap."
Ah, snap.
Kenara says, okay, lurking and making dinner. Gotta use up the leftovers.
Let's go, Kenara. Thanks for that alert, girl. Guys, if you're not following Miss Kenara, definitely go check her out.
Shizenwood says, I'm trying to make a time lapse.
Dude, Chris, I hope you have better luck than I do. Trying to make a time lapse. What kind of project you doing a time lapse of? That is so daggum not trued up. Why is that? Why do I feel like that's not sitting right? I was trying to make a tiki-taki the other day, and
Geek Boy yells, I pity the fool who doesn't follow at Kenara.
I do too. I tried to make a tiki-taki the other day, and I thought...
Shizenwood says one of those end grain bowls, hoping to catch it curl.
Oh, let's go, dude. Well, if anybody can do it, you can do it. I thought I had it set on time-lapse, and turns out I had it set on slow-mo. I realized my follies after I done cut the damn thing, and everything was already pretty much done. And I said, well, shit. Well, that's all I can say, Chris. Well, shit. That's not happening. True story. That's about the end of the story. I clicked the wrong button, and then I was like, well, shit.
Shay KK says internet issues.
Yeah.
We know that ain't the only issue you got.
You're
you
right.
definitely play with your wood more than most folks.
Do you know I do
Cool.
play with my wood?
What cool. Shizenwood says it's taken me a few tries already.
Shake, how you doing, bud? You know what? There's a lot more to it.
Spectre says, and that's a quote from Hula, after that TikTok.
Yes, well, shit. That's pretty much it, Spectre. Sheik, how are you doing today, bud?
Elderly Good says, seriously, 5 days left on my sub and I get an ad first thing coming in. Howdy Hula and chat.
What's up, Elderly? I have absolutely nothing to do that. I got ads turned off. No idea how that happened. I'm totally not taking blame for that.
Shay KK says about to head back to DC for work.
Uh-oh.
Finishing up some last minute stuff.
Well, I hope you have a good trip, bud. Are you looking forward to going back, or you don't want to go back? Elderly, I hope you're doing good, bud. All right. That crooked-ass looking son of a gun. Why is this dude fighting me the whole way? You know what? Don't care.
Let's be optimistic. I won't have to go back after this trip.
All right. Well, I tell you what, man. I'll be definitely shooting the good vibes your way, my friend.
Purple Daisy says because it's beer 30.
Oh, purple. It is definitely fighting me. I feel like everything's just... It's probably my...
Elderly Good says it's been happening a lot with channels I'm sub to. IDKWTF Twitch is on either. But I'm good. Temps back up to 90s by weekend. Dawn Starlight says it fighting you will give it character.
tell you what, I will not go quietly into that good night. I will not go without a fight. And all that other jazz. All right, let me clean this end up here so we have a good tenon. We flip this dude over.
Shay KK says if I do concessions will be made, along with Nkondo, so taking it in stride, will be a big vacay soon.
Oh, good, dude. Very good. Well, I hope it goes quick for you, dude. I know every now and then I don't mind a business road trip or something like that, but I'm one of those weird folks. I like being around my wife. And I know it sounds really silly nowadays, but I really do enjoy being around my wife, and I don't know. I'd be lost without. Don't tell her though. That shit'll go to her head. Don't tell me it's who, but I really do like being around her. All right. This is gonna be my end section here. That was good. Think long, think wrong, right?
Valfera yells snowmen woohoo.
No, Val, we're not making snowman, Val. What's up, dude? Did your ears catch on fire, Val?
Good says my parents were married 59 years before my dad passed. My uncle and his wife celebrate 65 years next month. So you have a bit to go hula.
Hey, that's all right. I'm enjoying the trip, elderly. To me, it's not a competition. It's a journey, my friend. Mistress, and let's let the dogs of war. Mistress me, we're going to get along. I got a funny feeling. Mistress me.
Valfera asks Fergie the hole, did you?
You know what? There is a hole. There is a hole right here, Val. I drilled it in there because I was bragging, Val, and I probably shouldn't have bragged. I said, I'm not gonna brag.
Starlight says no, he remembered.
Not gonna brag, but I actually remember to drill the hole. But I will say, Val, I drilled most of the holes today at lunch, and I wasn't in chat. So
Purple Daisy says he hasn't missed one yet tonight.
so far.
Elderly Good says it's not a competition, true, but the journey that two people will go through in their time together is awesome.
100%. It's all about the journey, man. It is 100% all about the journey. All right, let's get this little bit. This is where it gets kind of tricky. I normally don't like doing this here, but we got to smooth that out so I can grab a hold to it. Get in there, yo. Get
it. Valfera yells, well, I am here now, he will.
Val, you know what? We're not very much farther. We're not going to be on very much longer, Val. So I may actually make an entire day. I can't knock on that wood there. I knock it.
Herc Dog says
nice
hello, everyone.
Hey, Herc. What's up, bud?
Shay KK says been a long 5-month project. I miss my son GF and pups. Others make bigger sacrifices than I do, so I try and keep it in perspective.
There you go, bud.
I am very blessed to be in the position I am. I earned it for sure. But it is time to slow down soon and enjoy some fruit.
There you go, dude. 100%, man. You got to definitely find time to slow down, dude. Especially there's some very, very important people in your life that you got to make sure.
Valfera says what early on a Tuesday must be sweltering. Shay KK says pool. What pool?
Right, what pool? It is warm, Val. It is. Actually, it's cooling off now. It was, I can't see what it is now. It was 97 a little while ago. Oh, and again, guys, I know I said it quite often, but I want to make sure you guys know. Saturday, we're starting early. We're starting really early Saturday. So I'll be live about 7 o'clock, 7:15 Saturday morning. We're going to outrun the heat.
Much love, man. Hope you have a great week.
You too, bud. You too, my friend. Definitely going to be pushing some good vibes your way, bud. Definitely going to be kicking those good vibes your way.
Spectre asks barn. What barn?
Exactly. All right, I'm just beefing in his dude here. Scoodle-doodle. I
Malfera says he would be here at 0700 mods will walk in around 1000.
That's all right.
JKK says bees. What bee? Bees.
Bees knees. Yeah, we're going to start early.
Elderly Goods says, by the way, Hula, I did finally find someone to make that tool rest.
Nice.
He'll get it for next month.
Nice.
I'll do some design work for him in exchange for the cost.
Very cool.
Shay KK says D's bees.
These
Purple
bees.
Daisy asks, wanna bet Val?
Purple is one of those.
Texas Cryptid says, I might catch you near the end. I am not up at 7 on Saturdays unless I am still awake from Friday.
I heard that, and I can't blame you not one bit, bud. But it's going to get extremely hot here in Texas Saturday. And as much as I'd like to hang out with you
Spectre
guys.
asks bees knees. Shay KK says, I got a full super on one of my hives now and 2 of my flow frames are full.
Nice! Heck yeah, I do. But we're going to, I'm going to try to mind that weather a little bit. And my butt will be in the house. If I am out here, it's like directly all the fans on high. And
Valfera says, well, all depends on how long White Wolf keeps you up. Friday Purple runs for the corner. JKK says, hydrate man.
Oh, 100%. Let's get another drink right now. I'm fixing to have a beer is what I'm fixing to have. I'm really thinking about Saturday. I got this crazy idea Saturday. I'm going to go in the barn and pull out just a crazy looking fucking log and tear into it.
Purple Daisy says, oh, Val, that's cute, but you got it backwards, son. That Texas Cryptid says almost meds time.
It is. We're going to be having a beer here in a minute.
Psycho says crochet stream for Saturday.
No, I want to be in the shop, man. I want to be in the shop. And I do love crocheting. I actually enjoy it more than I thought I would. Which, who knows, we may be crocheting Thursday. I really don't know. But man, I really...
Magic says, hey Hula, for those of us aspiring wood turners, maybe you could do a stream explaining how you turn wood. It's been decades since I last turned wood.
We could do that.
Valfera says, much love at Purple Daisy 977.
We definitely could do that. We've actually talked about doing that, but when we do that, we'll have to turn the TTS off. Because I can't, with TTS, and a lot of times I'm not able to even complete a thought or a sentence in my streams. So if we did, it'd be one of those where I'd have one of the mods chit-chatting for me. I know Purple Daisy does a really awesome job at it. And we could do something along the lines of that right there.
Psycho says, I figured since it's gonna be hot, crochet stream can happen in the AC.
It could.
XOXX72 says, Hula, you should crochet something for your grandkid.
Um,
Hijik says, I am fine with that.
I'm more inclined to make something in the wood shop for my grandkid. Crochet is not. I enjoy it, and don't get me wrong, and I seriously respect the living hell out of it. But I'm not going to ignore the fact that I do have a wood shop and like a lot of wood tools, and I really enjoy hanging out doing this sort of thing.
Elderly Good says, honestly, your voice is better than TTS any day. Most natural Texan voice than TTS could ever hope to do.
Well, I appreciate that, bud. My biggest thing is with the TTS so I can keep on.
Jock says, have you ever turned a chess set?
I have none.
Finial reminds me of a bishop. Cookister 942 says, I like that idea. I'm new to turning too, got a crappy old central machinery lathe to start.
Well, we could definitely do a beginners. I want to just make sure, I want to say this out loud. I still consider myself a novice, but if I can say something or teach you guys something that may help out, I am all for it. Because I want to see more people doing it, you know. But just know, I'm no pro. Far from it. Oh, did I just bump that darn thing? Oh my goodness gracious! Let me turn it down. No, we're good. This is where it gets really tricky here, guys. So just so you know, there's only a little itty bitty piece of wood holding on.
Trying to get crazy with this.
Elderly Good says at Cookister 942 last year, I picked up a Wen benchtop model. Perfect size for my apartment. I use the balcony as my shop. Cassie Ramitra asks you ever going to do more Discord watch parties?
Ooh, I don't know. We can, Cassie. I just don't know when. I don't know when. Just with everything kind of...
Cookester 942 says there's always something to learn.
There's always 100%. Let me make sure this gouge is good and sharp. So that sucker there's not held on very much right now, guys. So this is where we got to be really careful, really kind of cautious. If you get really kind of cocky, it'll really bite you right square in the gluteus maximus in a heartbeat. In fact, I probably took that end piece out a little too soon. We'll find out here in a second.
Jock says don't get up, he'll get the phone. SOXX72 says phone.
That dadgum phone again. Turn these RPMs way on up there.
Shay KK says haha at Jack 54.
There we go. I like that. So this is where it gets kind of tricky, y'all. You do get a little bit of chatter, a little bit of vibration in there. And a little bit's okay. You just got to stop before it goes too crazy. I'm trying to make a nice little bell vibe right there. Hold on. Why did you move? You're not supposed to move, Torres.
Says tricky.
Tricky.
Elderly Goods says by profession, I'm a graphic designer. I attempt to learn something new every day. I suspect that is true for wood turning or any other hobby or profession.
I think it's about anything in life. I would think it'd be just about anything in life. Whether it be wood turning, learning to crochet, learn to properly cook that dish that you want to do and learn the ins and outs of this. It's just about anything. In case y'all wondered, that is a small dainty finial.
Yeah, can't if you know it all, then what's the point of living? But that's my opinion though too.
Y'all know how long it took me to be able to do this number right there? Just that right there. I know it don't seem like much, and you're like, what the hell is that? But I'm not going to lie, guys. That right there kicked my butt for the longest. Because the problem is, here, just imagine just a little bit of grip right here, and it's not a whole lot of metal. The metal actually kind of flexes out a little bit when you grab it.
Cookester 942 says I've always said the moment you stop learning is the moment you start falling behind.
There you go. So it takes a lot less leverage here to pull this out. So just imagine like the force it would take to remove these is a lot less down here and a lot more up here. So the further you're out, you've got to be pretty careful. Make sure you hit these. And
Graham says as long as I've crocheted, I'm still learning new stuff. Elderly Goods says that's a good saying at Cookester 942, I'm stealing it. Psycho says I always say, if you're not learning then you're dead. Jock says I have always been impressed when someone can make a smooth curve or a straight edge on a lathe.
Well, you know what's funny? The biggest thing that's always kicked my butt is this, like this right here. And another issue I always had is I always leave the tailstock in there so long, and I got so much pressure, it literally warps the wood. It literally causes it, when you start cutting it out, you turn it off, you'll get a little bit of a wobble. Sometimes I can still get a wobble, sometimes I don't, but I find that once I've learned to start doing it without that tailstock in place,
Elderly Goods
I
says
get a lot
at
cleaner.
XXScox 81, that's what my great-grandfather said too.
And here's another little trick, or a little heads up. Once you get like the iron, like I won't touch this with iron anymore. This edge right here, because it's way more flexible. Like this, imagine this is the strength of this here. Now imagine how flexible, I could actually sit there and move that back and forth. So if I start hitting with the iron right now, it'll start bouncing. It'll vibrate real bad and it'll wind up ripping itself off. So usually I get to a certain point. In fact, I probably need to start sanding that soon. We'll get down a little further.
Onward says never go back.
Never go back. You know what, Chris, the other day, I said, you don't go back. What did I do? I went back. That damn thing bit me. Shit, that sucker. It's like you do it, you like you know better. Like, I know better. Why the hell did I do that? Like, why did I do that? And I did it, and it bit me. It's a pow kind of thing. Let me find
I still do it.
You look thirsty. Go on get you a drink.
Let's
man.
get us a drink.
It's that one last pass mentality.
Right.
Sarah says surprised you left so much on there to still hog off before doing the dainty work.
No, this is one of the things though. When you're doing these right here, here's the thing. I'm trying to hold this here secure, right? And I'm trying to get this kind of behave itself when I'm cutting it. If I started cutting all this real thin, what I'm basically doing is I'm making it thinner and thinner. Thinner that gets, the more vibration. And see, you got a little bit of chatter right in here, which I'm okay. I can sand that out. Don't worry about getting it perfect, especially on certain woods like this here. African blackwood, I usually can get it pretty close. But the thinner if this is like a lot thinner, there'd be a lot more vibration right here. So I literally got to the point where I started leaving more meat up here. It seems counterintuitive.
Jock
but
says,
that
just
works
as a
better.
reminder, Hula, it is almost 8 p.m.
Oh, okay. Let me get a little bit of sanding here real quick. I want to see this sucker looks like. And we will probably grab us a beer and take our medicine. Of course, it's cooling off now. Actually feels pretty good in the shop. It's so funny. You want to hear something funny? Is Mitsu, she's always been one of the folks that's always been hot during the summer. She's always hot. And then she's been spending more time outside working with the garden and hanging out with me here in the shop. And I'm really proud of her. But it's so funny. She's turning into me because she'll go in the house like, Jesus Christ, it's freezing in here. And I'm like, it's just as cold as it was when it was before when you used to say it was hot. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm freezing right now. I thought it was kind of funny. Get more acclimated to it and it doesn't bother you near as much. You can't always get away with this. And I am at higher RPMs, but it's a very, very smaller spot. Like this fast out here.
Sarah says she'll still cut you.
I know she will, Val. You're not wrong, dude. But some of these dudes, I've actually been starting off at 320. Takes a little bit longer, but I don't have to go through so many different
Jock
kinds.
says it's amazing how well sweat works when you walk into air-conditioned space.
Oh, dude, 100%. Or like Jock, before we go to bed, dude. Because you're just used to being out in the heat, you know, or out in it, you know.
Purple Daisy says Val, she'll shoot him. She won't have to get as close.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. She would want to make it personal. I have zero doubt. She'd make that shit personal. She'd do it in the sleep. Favorite line. You got to go sleep. Just a few more minutes, guys. I want to get this a little further down. And then we will, uh-oh, I think I got a phone call, Jock. Just want to get a little further down. Kind of when I got the,
Jock says not much will beat a cold shower after working up a sweat in the heat.
You ain't wrong, dude. Well, I don't know. On a really a good cold beer on a really hot day, especially after you've been doing that, is like money, dude.
Val Farah says I was about to say that she hits me as someone that would want to make it personal.
Oh, she'd totally make it personal, dude. She would totally make it personal. There's some of that chatter. I like to sometimes use my bow gouge as a skew sometimes, if I can get that angle just right. Do get a little bit of a chatter, but I'm not worried about that little bit of chatter. I can sand that out. I'm just trying to get that general shape before I get too much further. I don't know if y'all can even see, but when I'm pushing on this, I can actually see the finial moving. And that's another thing about turning. A lot of folks, we talk about, some folks book learning and stuff like that, which I think is very important. But you just can't pass up putting your hands on a piece and finding exactly...
Purple Daisy says easy killer.
100%.
Val Sarah says you just amaze me, sir. Such fine fineness.
Well, I get lucky, man. You know what?
Spectre says making that cheddar sharp.
You know how many of these things I chunked off the lathe?
Jock says I still remember the best drink I have ever had. It was a Stewart's orange cream soda that I had put in the freezer at work at lunchtime, and by afternoon break when it was 100F it had just started to turn into slush and it was heavenly.
Oh, I bet, dude. I bet.
Val Farah says, oh lord, I love those things at Black 54.
I'm gonna make this a little bit thinner than that other one. Again, we got a little bit of chatter, but I'm not overly concerned about that. Y'all can probably hear it, a little bit of chatter right there. You can clean them. I'll literally clean all that up with sandpaper. On some woods, I can just 100% just flat out nail it.
Stewart's root beer always made great root beer floats.
I don't know. I'm kind of A&W guy when it comes to root beer floats, man. I am partial to my A&W. Like I said in the past, I am loyal to a fault.
Jock says at VALFERA they're really hard to find the originals. Most places only carry the diet versions. But if I am going to get a soda I want all of the sugar. Quickester 942 asks, do you think carbide tipped lathe chisels would be okay for this kind of finesse? Val Farah says high five at Texas Hula.
I don't know.
Spectre says I can forgive you for that.
Hey, hold on. Hey, Chris, are you in here? I don't think Chris is a carbide guy either. I would be the wrong person to ask.
Says A&W cream soda is the best.
Dude, right there with you, Gordon. I don't know. I've never really used the carbides. I went straight to OG style, like right out the chute.
Shizenwood says, what was the question?
Asking about, can you do this sort of stuff here with carbide tools as efficiently as using
says me to
this
Hula
here?
A&W is my go-to.
We're just the same thing, Graham. We're just alike. They're asking about, I've never really used carbide tools. So I got a couple of them, but I'm not very up on carbide. So I don't feel like I'm the right person to answer any kind of questions about them. I do know that carbide tools, they scrape. They don't slice. So that's one concern I would have.
Gordon Hammer says second best cream soda I've seen.
Alright, I'm gonna get this. We're gonna start putting an onion right in here. I wanted to keep it kind of. Oh, I shouldn't go this far back. I want that a little thinner.
Shizenwood says I mean you can, but they need to be brand new and sharp, and you won't get the finesse you do with traditional tools.
There you go.
Like you say they scrape.
That's what I was thinking. I just didn't want to say it out loud because I've never used them. Never used. I've seen guys.
Says I will die on my hill for Stewart's orange cream soda.
Jockey saying I'm dying on this damn hill, yo. I am dying on this damn hill. Thanks, Chris. And I'm going to say it again, guys. If you're...
Hijik says, do you have a preference in your chisels? I don't actually have a set yet, and I looked on Amazon and there are so many different makers it's intimidating.
You know what? You can't...
Shizenwood says I like carbide, but I pretty much only using it for deep hollowing.
That makes
Spectre
sense.
asks, look at that delicate work. Hula's hands move like a lover's hands over that. What was I saying? Kenara says okay, belly is fed. Purple Daisy says at Hijix he uses Hurricane quite a bit.
I do use Hurricane.
SOXX72 says Canfield's cream soda. Man, I miss Canfield's.
The reason why you use Hurricane, though, to be 100% honest with you, I'm a tightwad.
Jock says, but it's okay, everyone is entitled the wrong opinion on sodas.
Right? I'm a bit of a tightwad, and so I like Hurricane because Hurricane is they're medium. They're not the cheapest out there. They're not the most
Chisenwood
expensive.
says carbide is great for getting people into turning, but if they're serious about it, they should learn steel tools.
There you go. You know what? That's exactly kind of how I... And I try to be careful when I say that, though, because I know somebody like, wait a minute, what the hell are you saying, man? But I'm like...
Cookister 942 says carbide was cheaper for a starter set for me, but I may be getting some new chisels now.
Well,
Darn. Lol.
When you get into chisels, you got to think about sharpening. And I'm just 100%, bud. You got to be thinking about sharpening. And that's I think sharpening was my biggest devil's advocate when I first got started, because I didn't know how to do it. And then they got jigs now, but it is kind of pricey getting into it. But once you get into it, once you got it, though, you got it, you know? But I just don't want to... I don't want to blow smoke up anybody's ass thinking it's...
Spectre says nations have gone to war over carbide versus steel.
Well, I don't know about they gone to war over it, but I'm sure there's been a few... I guarantee you there's been some...
Cookister 942 asks any excuse for new tools, right?
Right, 100%. I don't know about any wars, but I could almost be willing to bet that there has been some heated internet warrior, keyboard warriors having a fierce battle along the interwebs, discussing that you're an idiot. No, you're an idiot. No, you're an idiot. I guarantee you, those kind of battles probably have taken place. I try to stay out of those. Life's too short for those. I try to stay far out of those. All right. Let's get a general shape, then we're going to find out the beer. Don't get in a hurry, Hula. Don't get in a hurry.
Chisenwood says I don't know anyone for using any tool, whatever gets you to the finish line.
There you go.
And not everyone has access to all the tools.
100%.
Not no.
That is a fact, my friend.
Cute Boy says how fierce can keyboard warriors actually be?
I don't know. But I will say that there's a lot of people nowadays are pretty free about talking things because they know they're sitting on a keyboard and ain't nobody go there to punch them in the face. Back in the day, you say something like that out in public, dude, you get ready to get fierce for it. I feel my gal's getting dull here. I was wanting to get an onion here, but that's not looking like an onion, guys. That looks like a... My gal's just getting dull. It's like an onion.
Yes, I see those conversations pretty regularly.
Yeah, just be on the...
Spectre says you've got a good solid 2 hours of work in tonight, Hula, so far.
Did we? I don't know that we got a solid 2 hours in
Purple
there.
Daisy says I like it, though.
Well, they're all unique, Purple. That's a line I'm going to use. They're all unique. They're all handcrafted. No, they are like snowflakes. No two exactly the same. That line of shit sound pretty good. Can I just kind of float that out? I mean, that information